Celtic fans, welcome back to Celtic World Order podcast. As always, I'm Paddy Boy and I'm joined by Stephen. Today we're going to have a wee breakdown of the away leg against Bologna in the Europa League. Let us know in the comments what your thoughts are. Would you have taken a draw at the start of the game? I'll jump right in. I would have bit your hand right for a draw at the start of that game. Do I feel like it was the best result come the end? Probably not. But we'll get down to that. We'll break it all down. As I said, I'm joined with Stevie. Stevie, how you doing, big guy?
Paddy, I need to be honest, like literally as soon as that game finished last night, I had to go and lie down in a dark room because watching that, it's not great for the blood pressure, is it? Especially when you get to my age.
Yeah. No, listen, definitely not, mate. And it's one of the ones I went into it, I knew we were going to be on the back foot, but obviously being down to 10 men, it got to that stage where we were just getting battered. And obviously we'll do the breakdown of the game. We'll talk about the stats and stuff. And yeah, we'll kind of get to it. But first of all, guys, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Please remember to like, subscribe, hit all of the buttons. You know where you can find us by now. Obviously, we're on YouTube. We're here. You're joining us. We are on TikTok. We're on X. We're on Facebook. We're on all of the socials. Get us anywhere. But always come back to the YouTube channel and you'll be able to see us on here. And again, if you want to join us by the membership, you can do. It's completely optional. And we appreciate every single one of you who do so. So, without further ado, let's have a wee look at the team sheet. So, when the team first came out, obviously, I don't think there's many surprises in there, Stevie. You look at it, Schmeichels, Donovan, possibly. But again, who do you play in front of him? I don't think Araujo was in the European squad, was he?
No, he wasn't registered in time.
So you're obviously going to play him. So looking at that team then, right? Trusty, Scales, Tierney, McGregor, Engels,
the Ralston passport story there, I think that deserves a wee...
Yeah. So
was that a bit of mischief making, do you think?
That, mate, I know. I seen it. I got the message through, and obviously there's been an issue, and he's had to get his passport renewed. And then I seen a message thing that obviously somebody sent out, and it was like, haha, I'm deleting his passport. His passport number's on there.
Aye.
Now, come on, surely somebody's got to get their arse felt for that, haven't they?
Absolutely. You would think that there's a club representative that, you know, as soon as these European games are sorted, then you're going through all the different, we need to make sure your passport's up to date. We need to, do this and do that, because they're booking it for the whole team, the whole squad that are travelling. So if one player, unless Anthony goes loads and loads of holidays that nobody else goes on, then as I say, just a bit of mischief making there, but all good.
Hey, Anthony Ralston's a wee bit like volleyball and golly, just travelling here and there. Remember during COVID, he was
during COVID. He was the only one in Scotland that got permission from the First Minister to travel. Aye, very good.
Aye, yeah. So I mean, looking at it as well, bench-wise, you get Sensalo, Duhan, Nigrin, Balakwisha, McCown, Kenny, Bernardo, Murray, Forrest, Mercado, Ralston, and Izaguzo. What is an Izaguzo? We've not seen much of that, have we?
No. I don't know, likely be one of the youth squad just to make up the kind of Scottish numbers, maybe. I haven't seen that name before, I have to say.
Yeah, that's one of the Japanese boys that was brought in, but obviously we haven't really seen much of him. So where the team there, were you surprised with any in the team sheet? Was there anything that you thought should have started that didn't?
No, I think, as you say, that was probably about as strong as we could hope for. Donovan was a wee bit of a surprise. I thought he might have gone with Ralston at right back, bearing in mind that we were probably going to be under pressure for most of the game. And Ralston will throw himself into tackles and make sure, kind of defence. He does his defensive duties. So other than that, I would say no. That's probably about the strongest lineup that you could have started.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with you, mate. And going into the game as well, what a start. Start with that high press, that persistence, the speed, the pace that Dyson Maidan, Reo Hatate and whoever were just pressing every single time they got the ball. There just seemed to be somebody there already waiting on it. And that's something that we've missed. Obviously, we want to forget about the time when Wilfred Nancy was in charge, but we we missed this high press. These players wanting to go and win the ball high up. You're going away from home in Europe to an Italian side. Yes, they might not have been playing the best that they have been playing, but we went there as an underdog, and we went into that game and pressed them straight from the off. And by God, did we get the results straight away? The keeper under pressure tries to clear the ball. I don't know what he tried to do. He tried to just pass the ball out, and dives in, intercepts it, and puts it on a plate for Reo, who, wow, 5 minutes in, Stevie, you're sitting 1-0. What's your thoughts at that point?
Yeah, absolutely. As you say, we've seen European games, especially against quality opposition, where you say, right, we're going to, take things nice and easy. We'll, get ourselves into the game bit by bit by bit. But no, I mean, almost from the first whistle, it was, right, let's get stuck in about them. Let's try and put them under a bit of pressure and see if we can get any joy. And as you say, force them into a mistake, take advantage. You couldn't have asked for any better, I don't think.
No, definitely not, mate. And it seemed to be we were getting that from all the players, from the back all the way right up to the front. It was the performance that I was looking for. Obviously, you knew you were going to be under attack, so Bologna started to come at us a little bit. They had an early shot. Austin Trusty's there. He's thrown his body on the line. He's actually diving in towards to make sure it doesn't put any pressure on Schmeichels and stuff. And straight for the start, mate, I thought absolutely incredible. Totally what I expected. Obviously, Bologna were attacking, they were coming at us. They did give us a bit of a doing possession-wise and whatever else, but at no point in that kind of first half an hour did I feel like we were under much pressure. Do you know what I mean? We had the early goal and we had everything else, but what were your thoughts? Were you like that? Did you feel the same?
Yeah, I certainly wasn't. I certainly wasn't panicking at that point. I thought we were well in the game, as you say. There's still a long way to go at that point, but it was very itchy peachy in terms of the amount of possession, the way that we were using the ball. When we did lose it, we were trying to win it back really quickly. We weren't giving them very many kind of one-on-one opportunities, as you say. All the defenders, really, just making sure that they were blocking shots, blocking crosses, really, really doing very, very well for the first half an hour. And as I say, kind of going to Italy, as you've seen over the years when we get drawn against the Italian teams, it's never ever an easy place to go. You know how the Italians play, and they'll put you under a lot of pressure and stuff. But up until probably about the 30-minute mark, we were well in the game, well worthy of being one up.
Yeah, definitely. You talk about Italian opposition. In my opinion, we're kind of really good against Italian opposition. Obviously, look back at the Lazio game and things like that, and then before, going way back, obviously AC Milan and Juventus and whatever. So we do have quite a good record against the Italian side. So obviously we're going into this game with the new bounce with Mark Neill. We've got players starting to come onto a game and things, and I was going into it and I didn't feel like we were going to get scudded. Do you know what I mean? I went into it and I was thinking, do you know what? I'd take a draw at the start of the game, and that was my thoughts going into it. So I'll take a draw right now, but if we can get anything more, then better. That's so much better. But
absolutely,
at no point did I think we were going to get a defeat, and that sounds quite optimistic. And obviously, I'm forever the optimist, and everybody that watches us knows that. But I went into it thinking, we could scrape a draw here. What were your thoughts? Would you have bit my hand off for a draw at the start of the game? Were you of the same
absolutely. What I didn't want was for the opposite to happen. If we had conceded early, then it might have been a different game. But I was really impressed with how we started, really impressed with how we were playing all over the park. And at that point, when we scored, I thought, there's more mileage, still a long period of time, 60 minutes to go in the game. So, anything could have happened there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And listen, Perry brings up here, listen, we would have won that match with 11 men on the pitch. So let's talk about the little elephant in the room. Reo Hatate, his first booking, right? He kicks out in the middle of the park. For me, for no reason. He's going the other way. There's no need to foul him there. What was it Joe Hart said? I put here Joe Hart's comment. He's seen the name Ferguson on the back of his top and he gave him one. I don't think Reo remembers the Fergusons. I don't think Reo knows that.
Is that Duncan you're talking about, maybe?
Well, I don't know. Duncan, Ian, Barry. I mean, you could basically take whatever one, although I don't think Reo would have kicked Duncan Ferguson. I think he did get led.
I don't think many people would have kicked Duncan.
Definitely. But yeah, for me, it's a silly tackle. He's going away from goal. He's not really causing much pressure. It's a booking that he doesn't need to get, isn't it?
Well, in watching it, like the way it starts is he's pulling Ferguson by the jersey.
Yes.
I think if all he had done was pull him by the jersey, it would have been a foul because Ferguson's going over towards the touchline. It's not like a goal scoring opportunity or anything like that. So I think if he was just pulling the jersey, it would have been a foul. But Ferguson cuts the ball back and Reo kind of sweeps the foot out from underneath him. That was what got him the card. And at that point you're saying, it's a deserved card. If that had been Ferguson on Hatate, you would have been saying, that's got to be a card. So, no arguments for that one.
No, I'm the same. Listen, everybody knows my thoughts on Reo. I think he's an incredible player. I think we are lucky to have him. Yes, he has good games. Yes, he has bad games. But when he's good, he's unplayable. And the comment Perry makes here, he's desperate to impress. I get that, mate. I understand that. That's a great point. And I think a lot of the players were maybe guilty of that. They want to show that desire. They want to show that passion. And I think maybe we're seeing it a little bit too much there in Reo. I think he is trying a little bit too much to impress. Go back for his second one, mate, his second tackle. It's just stupidity, isn't it? It's just, for me, you're on a yellow.
Yeah.
You're running towards the ball. The hands out. What are you doing? You're playing against Italian opposition. You know what they're going to do. Yeah. All the European teams do this. As soon as somebody makes any kind of contact, they're down. Yes, the guy went down like he'd just been shot, but they're going to do that, aren't they? They're going to try and play the system and play the ref.
Yeah, as you say, you lift your hand, whether he kind of slapped him in the back of the head, but he also had a wee nibble at his heel as well. That's given the ref an opportunity to look at that. If you let that go because you're thinking, right, the ball's heading out, I'm not going to catch it, he's not going to catch it. If he's holding me off, listen, just step away. I mean, what was it, 2.5 minutes between the yellow card and the red card? Just that wee bit of calmness to say, look, I'm just going to let this go. I'll maybe get you later in the game, but at that point, you should just have let that go. And you could tell by his own reaction, as soon as he saw the ref coming, he kind of went, oh dear, what have I done here? And obviously Martin was on the touchline, I think Martin was obviously a wee bit unhappy about how the Bologna bench reacted as well, because, they were straight over demanding. But yeah, as I say, I think it's one of these ones you've seen bookings given, and he should have been a bit smarter just to say, no, I'm not getting involved here after just having a yellow card, 2 minutes ago.
Yeah. Again, it comes down to what Perry's saying there. Eager to impress, eager to go there and show he's got that drive, he's got that passion, he's got the ability to actually go and get the wee bit and get that bite in. And I think you do need that, especially if you're playing in the park, because I've been calling for guys like Arnie Engels. I think Arnie backs out of quite a lot of tackles. But then obviously when Martin O'Neill came in the first time, we've seen a totally rejuvenated Arnie Engels, and he was winning every 50-50. He was diving in, he was getting possession, he was getting the ball, and he wasn't scared. It was as if he was just, I don't know what he done to him, what he gave him, but he seemed a lot braver. And there's a fine line between being brave and being utterly stupid. Is what Reo Hatate was, and I hate to say that because I do like Reo Hatate. And let me know in the thoughts what you think here. I'm going to put it to Stevie right now. I know we're diving off here and we're going away for this game and whatever, but obviously we've got Hearts on Sunday. Should Reo Hatate be in that squad? Should he be put in? I'll start off. I think he should, because I don't think McCowan, Bernardo or Negrin are going to offer you any more than what a Reo Hatate would. I think Rio's got that wee bit in there. He's got that bit of magic, and he's got that eye for the pass that I think the other ones don't really have. What's your thoughts on it, Stevie?
I'll be honest. I'm not quite as straightforward on Reo being an automatic pick for Sunday. I think he has this season been very hot and cold. All that you've discussed about him, if he's on his game, absolutely. He is the guy who can make that bit of space, can get into those positions, can play those passes. For Reo this year, I've just not seen it, continuously enough. He has his games where, as you say, he's almost unplayable and he scores goals. He makes great runs that no other player makes, and he makes passes and stuff like that. So I think I would probably agree with you in that, given that Cammy Devlin's not playing, we need to be strong in the midfield. We need to have that wee bit of, as I say, thinking out the box creativity from players where, as you say, our options at the minute are a wee bit limited. Not that, Bernardo or Luke McCowan would be any less quality, but the same, Bernardo's had a kind of hot and cold season. Luke's done pretty well, even when he was playing under Wilfred. So I think, just in terms of personnel available, Reo is probably going to be a starter. Yeah,
he's your best option. Hatate isn't the player we want to say. I get this. Looking at it as well, Benji Negrin for me is better going forward. But I think in a game against Hearts, where Hearts are going to come at us, they're going to be trying to cause us a lot of pressure. Like you said, no Cammy Devlin, which I think is an incredible opportunity for us, because
bonus,
I think that Benji Negrin is better going forward. Hatate's better at doing the breaking up.
He's not a central midfielder. You probably saw from last night that he's not great when he's doing the defensive stuff. He's very good attacking wise. I think coming off a wing or getting in behind a main striker is where Negrin is best, and he knows how to put the ball in the back of the net. But I don't really think I would be trusting him to be a ball winner in the middle of the park.
No, definitely not. Benji Negrin for me, he's one of the guys that he's always in the right place.
Yeah, at the right time. Makes very good runs, very intelligent.
He's always in the right positions. But yeah, enough on poor Reo. I thought Casper had a decent enough game. Yes, conceded 2 goals, but when you look at the chances that they created, especially from corners and stuff in the first half, they were coming at us. And like I said, defensively, we looked strong. We were putting our bodies on the line. I thought Casper had a few decent saves, and listen, he's been under a lot of scrutiny the last couple of weeks. Do you think last night really helped fans get back on the side of Casper? I've kind of bought in. I really did, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, well, again, Casper is great at stopping shots. I think what a lot of fans get frustrated about is when we have a lot of high balls coming into the box from set pieces and stuff, he never comes out for anything. He never comes and tries to win it in the air, even if it's just punching it away, rather than if he's not confident that he's going to catch a ball. He should still be coming out and try and punch balls away. But he seems kind of stuck to his line. But 9 times out of 10, if you're a 1-on-1 with Casper and you're trying to put a shot past him, he makes himself big. The one that really impressed me, although probably a wee bit of luck, was the one almost at the end of the game where he saved with his forearm. It was very much a kind of, what you expect from Casper. It was very reactionary. It was just his arm was up there without him even thinking about it. And that's the quality of Casper.
Aye, that's it. I remember a save. It was Manuel Neuer, and it was very, very similar to that. And it was just showing the actual power that he had in his hand. Somebody, I can't mind who hit the shot, but he just kind of put his hand like that, reactionary, and just bang off and away. And yeah, it was very, very similar to that. But I thought, Casper had a decent enough game. I get what you're saying there.
Overall, yes,
I'm
absolutely.
back to when the last goalkeeper we had that would come out and catch the ball, the last keeper that would come out and catch it for corners. Fraser Forster was 6'6", wouldn't do it.
Craig Gordon.
Probably Craig Gordon, yeah. You think back to Craig Gordon, Arthur Boric, guys like that. I think that's something that we miss, is our goalkeeper actually coming off the line and commanding the box. Casper's a very good goalkeeper. He's, like you said, he's reactionary. Does the big spread, the Schmeichel spread, we call it. His dad was famous for it, wasn't he?
Absolutely.
And he's good for that. I thought he did a decent enough game, and sometimes we come on here and we can be quite negative towards a lot of the players, and we can be giving them kind of a wee pass mark here and whatever else, but I'd have gave Casper a pass mark for that. I really would.
Absolutely. If you're bearing it just on last night's game, I think everybody in that squad got a pass mark. Because without Casper's saves, we would have, it could easily have been about 4 or 5 to Bologna, definitely. So when he does what he's supposed to do, then you've got to give him credit for that. And that's, as I say, if you're looking at it longer term, how he's been this season, kind of like Reo, been a wee bit uppy downy, but no, definitely on his performance. Casper gets pass marks.
Yeah, definitely so. Listen, massive thank you to Dan the Man, who's just gifted 10 memberships. So if you're on the end of any of the memberships, thank your man Dan, because we certainly do every single week. What a guy. Thank you so much.
That man Dan could make a wee song out of that.
You could, yeah, definitely. I want to touch on some of your defenders as well here. Ryu Ken brought this up straight away earlier on. Trusty last night was brilliant. I'd also have KT on corners from now on. Now, Austin Trusty, I said before, putting his body on the line, sliding in, getting in the way of the ball. In the first kind of half hour, 35 minutes, I think he must have, won probably about 5 or 6 aerial duels. Mm-hmm. He blocked a shot on target, sliding in, and then he blocked another one with his bum and kind of knocked it out the side of the back, which, mate, I thought, here we go. I think back to the Atalanta game at Celtic Park, where we got, was it at Celtic Park? No, Atalanta was away, wasn't it, in Europe last year? We got absolutely battered. I think they put something like 37 crosses into the box. And Austin Trusty must have dealt with the 37 of them. It was incredible that night. And I felt like last night was that Austin Trusty. I felt like he stepped up to the mark, and I felt like he delivered that absolutely iconic defensive show.
Yeah, a masterclass. Oh, for me, Trusty was the man of the match. Definitely, as you say, it wasn't just the good sliding tackles and the ones that look really great for the cameras. Everything was body on the line. I'm going to block this. I think one of the Atalanta players, they kind of had a half volley just towards the end of the first half, and it come off his hip. He just kind of moved his hip over and got something on it, and you could see he was fist bumping people as he walked away, because he was, that's another one. That's how he was the whole game. You probably, I would say, if you were to go through and look at Austin's best performances, they all seem to come in Europe. or most of them seem to come in Europe. He seems to rise to the occasion very well, and that's not, that's not to say that the rest of the defenders were any less. I mean, it was a real team effort last night. But Austin, as I say, was my man of the match, and it was a case of, I'm going to get a block on a shot or this, that, and the next thing. So absolutely fantastic, really top-notch performance from Austin last night.
Yeah. Definitely, and like you said, he seems to rise for the big occasion. Pardon the pun, also rise up for the headers and whatever. But yeah, he seems to be one of the guys. Scalesy as well. Listen, how many times has he came in and absolutely nailed a performance in Europe as well? And listen, the big Ginger Maldini for me done it again. So we're kind of looking across that defence. We've already said that Kasper Schmeichel for us was a massive pass mark. Austin Trusty for me, he was probably my man of the match. Scalesy, I thought, brilliant again. Kieran Tierney, brilliant. Even in young Kobe Donovan, brilliant. So we're kind of going in and we're looking at it and going, yeah. Some people always say it's a bad day when your defenders are your better players. You don't want them to be the better players, but playing away from home in Italy, you are going to be under the cosh. You are going to be getting a lot of attention. And I thought we dealt with it absolutely phenomenally. We really, really did. We took on not an Italian giant last night, but we took on a big side in Italy, and we.
Yeah, they're a Serie A team. That's the thing. However you look at it, the Italian league is certainly much stronger than the SPFL. So just because, they're maybe sitting mid-table, they are still a quality team. You look at how much in terms of value their squad comes to compared to ours and stuff. But no, I mean that, as you say, the defenders were great. You are going to be under pressure, so you need that calming influence at the back. Trust your defenders, and then when we get the ball, which we'll probably talk about soon, is how we then move the ball forward and try and catch them.
Yeah, definitely. And we'll step up into the midfield and have a wee look there. Guys like Arne Engels, obviously Hatate, we've covered Reo. That's we brought a line under him.
Go on.
He gets his goal. Brilliant. There you go. You got 8 for your goal, Reo. He gets sent off. We'll take 3 off it. You get a 5. Right? That's we'll cover him with that. Arne Engels, delivery again, fantastic delivery. He's put the ball. We'll get to Trusty's goal. We might as well cover that while we're here. Arne Engels puts the ball right on the penalty spot, basically for a corner. Whips it in, causes a lot of confusion. Austin Trusty standing at the back post and absolutely rattles it. I was going to say into the back of the net, but it didn't actually hit the back of the net, did it? It kind of bounces off the bar and down, and the keeper punches it out, but we all know it's past the line. We can see that. Fantastic, mate. 2-0 up before the end of the first half. Again, down to 10 men. We're sitting there, we're thinking, right, can we hold on? Can we get another and maybe even this up a wee bit? But what a delivery for Arne Engels, and fantastic finish.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that is the sort of thing, as you say, I think probably a lot of fans like myself, when we went down to 10 men, were expecting to watch the rest of the game through your fingers, because you think, oh no, this is going to go horribly, horribly wrong here. But we hung in, we got the corner. Suddenly, it's 2-0, and it's a cracking time to score. Even if we'd been sitting at 0-0 and we'd went 1 up, you know what it's like. Just before half time is probably about the best time to score. But to give you the cushion of 2 going into half time, being down to 10 men and thinking, right, this is now gives us something really to hang on to.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And I get what you're saying there, sitting watching it through the hands and stuff. And we were kind of the same. I mean, I'm sitting watching it offshore with people who support all different clubs. And do we have Stevo in? What's going on? Here he is. All right, Stevo.
Listen, I will not stop long. I just want to pop in and say welcome to everyone that's in the chat. It's all good, and hope you're enjoying the weekend. Great result. all be against the odds. That's it. Let's be honest. If you were offered a draw, you were fucking taking it. So let's not kid yourselves on. But yes, going into the weekend against Hearts, let's hope we can do it. But I say thanks everybody. Dan the man. I see the gifting. Thank you very much. Outrageous generosity. Thank you. And to everybody else there. Thank you very much. Bye boy. On the board, enjoying myself, I'm gonna lie. Nice meal, couple of drinks, and that's the thing. But I just always want to pop in, and as always, just say thank you for your continued support of the channel. That's my bit.
Cheers, Steve-O.
Cheers, my man. Take it easy.
Get to fucking loser. See you later.
For the viewers, we should mention that he's at a Tommy Burns supper tonight.
Exactly. So as I say, it's not my style, but I would be in there in spirit as always. But having a wee laugh tonight. First drink in 3 weeks, so big deal.
Enjoy it.
Dry January lasted to the 23rd.
Hail, we'll bang Sunday night. See you later.
See you soon, man. Right, Steve was away. So let's get back to it. Obviously, we're talking about the goal there that we score from the Arnie Engels delivery. Now, how many times have I been on here saying that we should do so much more from corners? We need to be attacking them. We need to be getting better deliveries. We need to be doing so much more. Finally, if you think back to the last time Martin O'Neill was in charge, Johnny Kenny scores for a corner against Rangers. Now we've got Trusty scoring for a goal against Bologna. We're starting to see things like this happening more regularly. That can't be a coincidence.
Nygren's goal against Falkirk came from a corner, did it not?
Yeah. It can't be coincidence. We don't score for I don't know what, 10 months, 11 months, and then all of a sudden, bang, 3 in a matter of 2 months.
Listen, well, as you say, it's the Martin effect and the Sean effect and the Fozzie effect. You know, there's got to be something happening here that it's the basics that we are doing so much better than we have been since the start of the season. You know, that I think I'm trying to think who else has scored from headers. Probably Big Scales has scored from a header this season as well.
There's been a few, but obviously when you look at it, we get about maybe say 10 corners. We probably average about 10 corners a game.
Yeah, and we don't take as much advantage as we should. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You look at it. Obviously, the game against Hearts the last time, I think Hearts had something like 8 goals from corners, and Celtic had 2. Yeah, and I was kind of watching it going, I hope they don't get any corners. And it kind of brings me on to talking about Bologna there. I mean, their corners were on the money. They were playing some short, they were playing some into the box, they were playing some at the edge of the box, playing some at the back post. They just seemed to have so much versatility, and they knew what they were doing.
Yep.
So it brings it back to that old argument, should we have a set-piece coach? And I totally think we should, mate.
Well, yeah, if you want to look at our rivals across the city, they spent money and brought in a set-piece coach just a few months ago, and the Baldy brothers, hey, just it'll come to you, Plunge. One of these days it'll come to you. But no, a kind of a specialist coach, both for defending set pieces and for attacking set pieces, is going to be worth, you know, probably saving a dozen goals a season and scoring a dozen goals a season. So yeah, if it's worth the money, there's a lot of you know, kind of specialism that you know we probably haven't made best use of. I mean, I always remember when Brendan came in and was playing this mad zonal system for months and months and months, and we were conceding, you know, goal after goal after goal after goal. And that was when, you know, we even had like Virgil on the team and Christopher Ayer defending and stuff like that, you know, guys who were not afraid to go up and win a ball in the air. But just the mad system that Brendan had at the beginning was, it gave me the absolute fear.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, people that actually could defend that couldn't do the thing. I think that was a wee overcoaching moment, maybe.
Yeah.
You spoke about the Fozzie. Every time we mention the Foz, I have to bring it in. It's got to come up. You ready for it? Here we go.
Oh, go for it.
If you're not training with intensity and you do 3 days out of the 5 days, you'll not be in my team. I've got a good group here. And the team, the starting 11 and the subs, they earned the right. If you want the coast, just stay at home. You're not going to play for me.
I mean, that shows you. I mean, that applies to Celtic as much as it applies to a team down in the lower leagues. You know, if you come in, if you start believing the hype, well, I wear the hoops. Therefore, you know, I can imagine Fozzie standing out at Lennoxtown, you know, saying to them all as they come out that very speech, and you know, by God, it's obviously, you know, helped the team get where we are after the Nancy ball.
See, when I think about the management style and stuff, right? Obviously, we're all aware that Sean Maloney's doing the coaching side of stuff. Mm-hmm. Martin O'Neill is the man management side of stuff. Martin O'Neill can make you feel 10 foot tall. Yep. Can make you believe that you are Pelé, basically, is what people who have spoken to that have worked under him. And I think Fozzie is the enforcer, isn't he? Martin's basically, he'll kind of talk to you and make you believe that you're the best you can be. Fozzie will make you the best that you can be. Do you know what I mean? That's the kind of feeling. I feel Fozzie, like we've just got a coaching staff. I just feel like we've got an absolute cracking team of everybody, and it just gels together. It just makes it look so much better, and that's why we're starting to see these results starting to come, and the players are buying into it.
Well, funnily enough, when I was looking at social media earlier, and there was actually a clip. It was Alan Shearer talking about his time with Martin O'Neill. You know, obviously because they were doing their pundits together, and he says Martin does simplify it as much as he possibly can. He says Martin finds square pegs for square holes, and that's what you get from Martin. You know, he lets everybody know what your job is, what's expected of you, and then that's it. As you say, you've got other coaches that will do other things and add other layers of specialism and do whatever they do. But Martin is just there to manage an individual and then get a group together to say, listen, just go out and do your job.
Yeah, 100%, mate. And I love that they are starting to come together, and that the management we've got here just now are doing the best with what we have. Yeah. Which will bring us down to obviously talking about the squad going forward and things like that. But first of all, we've kind of messed about. Don't really want to talk about the second half, but we will. We will sit here and we will talk about it. I thought we started off the second half okay. First kind of 5 minutes, I thought we were all right. We were kind of holding our own a little bit. But then Bologna seemed to kind of turn the screw and come at us, and my heart was in my mouth. I must admit, the second half I did pretty much watch like that.
Yep.
I was sitting there, mate, and like I say, with the corners and the deliveries and whatever they were putting into the box, I felt like it was coming. I really did. I felt like we were going to concede at some point. It was just whether we could hold on and scrape a win or hold on for the draw at that point. What were your thoughts kind of going in? Were you expecting at that point? Did you think we would maybe sneak one, or were you like myself kind of come to myself?
To be honest, I kind of spent my time watching the clock and going, can somebody speed this up a wee bit? Because it seemed like every minute was 10 minutes to watch. It was like, no, come on, you know, surely we must be halfway through the half by now, and it's only 5 minutes that have been played. So yeah, it was a kind of, you know, almost traumatic experience of just, you know, defend, as you say, to defend for 45 minutes and not concede. You know, you would have said, oh, you know, world beaters. But absolutely, I don't think I could have asked any more, because even at one point you've got Dyson back in your own area, and he's throwing himself in front of things, and it was what it was at the end of the day. To play 60 minutes with 10 men, as you say, it's a quality team who, although not great domestically, you're still under the cosh, and they're going to find a way to score a goal, whether that's a high ball or just getting shots away, because we're all crowding into the box. So again, I'm not going to be critical of anybody in the hoops. They did absolutely fantastic.
Listen, every man stood, and they stood there and they were counted. We performed really, really well, and like you're saying there as well, I want to bring this comment in as well for Big Dom. He's saying that Martin has inherited his genius and style from the great Brian Clough, which is why he commands so much respect from the players. Totally get that, mate, as well. And you've seen it even when we were under the cosh for so many periods in that game. We get a corner, and I'm kind of thinking, right, just keep the ball up that side, keep possession, play it about, go back to kind of Brendan ball, holding the ball, play it across the midfield, whatever. No, not for Martin. He's telling Trusty and Scales, up you go, boys. Yeah. Have a crack, have a go. And I thought, fuck, this isn't what we're used to. Do you know what I mean? We're kind of used to the Brendan Rodgers style, where he would have held the ball and tried to keep possession and tried to kind of
run the clock down.
Aye, try and suit the enjoyment out of the game, essentially. Do you know what I mean? Run the clock down. But not for Martin. Martin was going for the game, and he was actually out there to go for it. And just to kind of expand on what I said about that second half, although we were under pressure, I don't think we panicked at any point. That was the thing. Although we knew we were under pressure and we were fighting for everything, at no point did anybody panic. It was a case of, look, we're still in this game. We're still able to pass the ball. They were getting, the odd set piece and the odd corner. So why, as you say, get bodies up the park. Somebody could get a wee nick on it. The same with the Trusty goal. That's the thing. That is what Martin has brought to the team. And for any of the kind of younger viewers who don't know who Brian Clough is, there's plenty of his stuff on YouTube. Brian Clough being the manager of Nottingham Forest when Martin played the game. But absolutely, you couldn't have probably have learned from a better mentor than Brian Clough. He was probably one of the best managers in the English game of all time, really. So the second half, as I say, although it was dragging on and we were under pressure, no panic at all, which again says quite a lot for Martin and the boys. Absolutely, Dan, a total shift throughout the 90 minutes. And deservedly, to when you heard that final whistle go, then that was it. It was like the pressure cooker. It just went straight out the ears, and as I say, I had to go and lie down after it. Yeah, definitely. I touch on that as well. I've read Martin O'Neill's book. I read it years ago, and then actually re-listened to it again when he became manager on Spotify. I've got the audiobooks on there, so I managed to listen to it again, and it's actually Martin reading it, and it's really, really good. And he talks quite a lot about the influence of coffee and stuff like that, and it's just so good when you think about even his career coming through. Like he's not just some dafty that's became a coach. He actually had a proper playing career. He's actually won so many big titles and stuff. Do you know what I mean? And to then take that into his management style and take all the best parts from all these excellent managers that he's worked under is just absolutely incredible. And I think we're starting to see the best of that being rubbed off on our players. And I just hope Sean is sitting there with his wee notebook, just writing down absolutely everything that he has seen from Martin. No doubt he will be.
I would love to hope that come the summer, as I say, I spoke to Steve-O on the podcast the other night, and my gut feeling is that we get to the summer, Martin has basically got his choice of any position on that board, but particularly the kind of director of football. If he wants that job, he should get that job because he is your football man on that board. Whereas we've got businessmen, we've not got football men. So if Martin wants to move up the stairs, but Sean, Fozzie, all these guys, they have to be retained as a kind of core in the training squad. I know a new manager will come in and he'll want his own staff with him and stuff like that. But these guys have kind of shown now over the course of this, few months that he's definitely, they all deserve to keep their positions with the club.
Yeah. When you bring that in, then, mate, I'm going to have a wee jump forward. I was going to keep this towards the end, but I'm just going to bring it in now because obviously we're talking about positions on the board. Yep. Now, obviously, if you have seen it, then you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, what I'll try and do is I'll try and share it on the TikTok channel and people can go and have a watch of it. I'm obviously talking about the confrontation with Michael Nicholson last night. Now, listen, I agree. Sack the board, get them out. I do not think they're fit for purpose, but I don't agree with what happened last night. One of the guys has gone up and Michael Nicholson's leaving the ground with his wife and he's up and he's like, "Oh, Michael, how you doing? Blah, blah, blah. Who are we signing this year? Fucking nobody. Aye, that's right. Blah, blah, blah." And they're shouting abuse and they're singing, "Sack the board" and whatever and things like that to him. I don't think we should be confronting them in the street. I think this will give the board ammo. I think it will give the media ammo. I think the media should be looking at that result from last night and going, wow, what a point away from home for Celtic. Mm-hmm. Celtic are still in the Europa League. Celtic are in with a chance. Celtic have everything in their own hands. Instead, there's going to be a little negative part on it for me. Yeah. And I don't think that was the right way to approach it. I think, yes, the guy's probably had a wee bit too much to drink and seen him and thought, I'm going to have a bit of him. I understand. I get that. It's all done. We can't control the full of the fan base. But I just want to say, I don't think that's the way that we should be doing it. What's your thoughts on that, Stevie?
No, there's a time and a place is the way that I would kind of describe that. One, yes, the fan was clearly drunk, out of his mind. You know what social media is like nowadays. Everybody wants a selfie. You see that could have been a former player. Say Henrik was at the game. Oh, lovely, lovely. I want a wee video with Henrik. Brilliant. You can't be doing that in the public domain because it gives, it does give that kind of negative twist, as you say, Paddy. It's one of these ones where he's there, he's with his wife. Yes, the argument is really, did he need to go to that game? Should he maybe been at home trying to express an interest or raise an inquiry and try and get some more players in? Or should he be on a wee jolly with the team to Italy? There's an argument for that, but no, I don't agree with, approaching the guy in the street and giving him dog's abuse. As I say, if you want him to resign from his position and put somebody in there that's going to be better for our club, then by all means do it in the right way. Don't look like as you say, you look like a drunken yob when you're appearing in videos like that. And I don't know the guy obviously in person, but people out with Celtic will look at that and say, that's maybe something that's not quite as acceptable as.
If you're a CEO of a company or a footballing CEO and you're looking to come in to Celtic and you see that, it's not going to fill you with confidence to go around and take the role. And in my opinion, listen, Michael Nicholson as well looked like he had a wee scoop. He looked like he'd had a few drinks as well, and you could see that the kind of glaze in the eyes. I'm no body language expert. I don't know if I just look at somebody and say, "Oh, you're drunk," or you could be sitting with whiskey in that wee Guinness cup there. You know what I mean? But I thought he had looked as if he'd had a wee drink, and I agree with what you said there. Should he have been at that game, or should he have been sitting at Celtic Park trying to get more signings in, or doing more, what is it he says? More looking, basically, more window shopping. More expressing an interest and making an inquiry, and
all the terms that we've
insert shite
using.
cliche line here. Yeah, one of the ones, isn't it?
Basically,
yeah. But listen, that's our kind of thoughts on it. I had to bring it up. Obviously, it's been there, and it was part of the thing that came out last night. So I just thought I'd have brought it up. Also, want to bring up the tables. Like I had said there as well, the result last night, Rangers beat Ludogorets 1-0, which actually does us a massive favour. And I would like to thank the Rangers for doing that. If you have a little look here, Ludogorets are sitting 25th on 7 points. Obviously, our point last night puts us on 8 points, 1 point ahead of them. So basically, if we beat Utrecht, who are sitting 34th with 1 point, we beat Utrecht at home next week, we are through.
So
fantastic.
As you correctly say, it's all in our hands. We don't need to rely on other results. We have a home game against a team who, having played 7 games in the tournament, have 1 point. If you look at the goal difference, I'm looking at the BBC site at the moment. So in their 7 games, they have scored 3 and conceded 11. So a goal difference of -8. Now, here's where we don't want to go into that game thinking we just need to turn up, because that's the Scottish Cup final all over again.
Yes.
But I would much rather have it as, if we win that game, we are through. We don't need to worry about what's happening elsewhere.
Yes. There are obviously so many other outcomes that we can look for. Even if we draw with Utrecht, then we start to look at, we need Ludogorets to draw or get beat. We need Go Ahead Eagles to do this or whatever. We need so many different results for so many different teams. And I don't want to be relying on anyone else. I want it to be basically in our own hands, like we said. And where is this? RU Ken 28 brings this in. Fantastic, mate. No one in Utrecht are 34th. They've got a Greek hologram in gold. They have, obviously, Vasilius Barkas, the ex-Celtic goalkeeper, whose arms, I believe, were stuck like this the whole time he was at Celtic. So, yes, that obviously will play into our hands. But listen, I'm not going to beat about the bush here. How many people have you seen come back to Celtic Park and play an absolute blinder? I'm talking about Harold Bratback. I'm talking about Joey Ingeberget, even Lager Bielka this year. Guys always seem to come back and they have a blinder against us. I'm just hoping to God that Vasilius Barkas doesn't come back here and go, I'll show you. What's this?
Yeah, I mean, as you say, watching the Braga Aston Villa game last night, which Braga won 1-0. And although it was only the highlights that I saw, Lager Bielka was certainly involved in some good, some good defensive manoeuvres. So he was one for me again with the same as Navroki. Was one of these guys who obviously been watched at training on a daily basis, and whether it was a case of, because it wasn't Brendan that kind of identified them and brought them in, just never really fancied them, even though when they did come in and played some games, they looked really solid. I didn't think they were that far off the pace, and I thought a run of games would have done them really good. So I thought Lager Bielka last night was certainly much involved. So as I say, it's in our hands. It's a home game. You can't really ask for much more than that. A home crowd that will get behind the team, and we just although we won't have the new striker, he doesn't qualify for playing.
Somebody's putting it back here. Big Thomas, when does Thomas become eligible for the Europa playoffs? I think it's after this stage. I think then we can resubmit our side.
You get to kind of mix a new three names into the list after this round, once it goes into the knockouts.
That's it. Obviously, you can change your players if you have a head injury, if you have someone who's going to be out for a long term. You can make changes here and there, but yeah, until we get through, there it is. It's coming in. The optimism's already there. Officials saying Barkas, Paddy the goalie. Yes, Vasilius Barkas, the goalkeeper that we signed for $5.5 million, who was like a T-Rex. Who was, as I said before, a hologram. Listen, we've had all of the puns in there about the guy. Let's face it, Barkas was barking. He was shocking.
Again, we need to go back and say who scouted that guy.
Yeah,
where did his name come from?
That was one of Peter Lawwell's sons. It was one of his guys, I think. But you think back, right? I remember when Barkas left and we got Joe Hart in, didn't we, to replace him? And I was at the game, Joe Hart's first game, and there was a shot from, I think, about 6 yards. I can't even remember who it was against. Maybe somebody in the comments will be able to tell me. There was a shot from about 6 yards, and Joe Hart ripped out the top corner, and the crowd just went boom. That noise, mate, I can still hear it. I can still feel that feeling. And it was like, yes, we finally got somebody who can do it, somebody who could actually save shots, basically. Do you know what I mean? It was like, and it was because we had this dafty for so long that we finally had somebody in goals. And I always revert back to that, having that moment will live with me for quite a long time.
I mean, we mentioned other goalkeepers earlier in the podcast. You need somebody that's on that line that you can trust, basically. And then, you need to trust your defenders. As the further it gets up the park, it's all these guys that you've got to trust them to do their job. If your job is keeping the ball out the net, as you say, Big Joe, he knew how to do his job. Yeah,
definitely. To finish up on the Bologna game, Steve, I want to bring in the stats here because, as I said, I thought it was quite one-sided when I was watching it. But I've had a wee look at this, right? 32 shots to our 7. 9 shots on target. We had 6. 65% possession to our 35. 462 passes to our 198. 90% passing accuracy to our 66. That's pathetic. 8 fouls to our 12. 1 yellow card to our 2. Obviously, Reo gets the red. 2 offsides to our 1. 16 corners they had to our 2. Statistically, mate, we got absolutely humbled, didn't we?
Absolutely. Quite right. I think from a Bologna point of view, the one stat there that they'll be disappointed with is 32 shots and only 9 on target. When Steve-O and I were talking about the Talbot game, and we had 15 shots and only 5 on target in that game. And that's where you look and you say, if they had more on target, potentially. But again, from our point of view, that shows how, defensively solid we were and, how we all, managed to get the ball, same as Atalanta last year, 0-0, basically because we were so brave right across the park.
100%, mate. When I seen these stats, I just thought, wow, it totally threw me. I was like, geez, we were quite lucky to get out of that with the draw.
You ask any pundit, the professional pundits, if you were only to show them those stats, not show them the actual game, and say, right, there you go, what do you think the final score would be? Then they would all be saying, oh yeah, it would be such, I doubt anybody would say 2-2. And Plunge is right. That is the most important stat at the end of the day.
100%. Listen, and RU Ken brings this in as well, saying about the lad Jonathan Rowe. I wanted to bring this in, mate. How good was his goal? I hate it when they do this against us, but wow, he nipped inside. He's 25 yards out basically, and just scud. Casper unsighted. There was a call for a VAR check for one of the players possibly being offside, blocking his view, whatever. But
no, listen, the thing was past him and he hadn't even moved yet. I mean, that shows you how much power it was in. So power, accuracy, you've got to just say fantastic goal.
What we'll do then, we'll draw a line under Bologna. Fantastic result. As we have said, it's in our hands.
All
we need to do is beat Utrecht at home.
Yeah.
And we're in the latter stages, basically. We get the second round part. Fantastic. That is it.
Yeah.
Now, on to Sunday.
Yeah.
We have the league leaders at this minute, Hearts. There's something that I didn't think I would be saying this season. 6 points ahead of us.
Yep.
This is a proverbial 6-pointer game, as we call it. Do we go with the same lineup? Obviously, we've had the Hatate discussion. Do we have Reo in there? Do we do that? Does Thomas get a start? Does Araujo play instead of Donovan? What's your opinion? Tell me in the chat. Tell me your lineup, Stevie.
Right, so changes from last night.
Yes.
The boy Araujo would be at right back.
He'll be instead of Donovan.
He's looked very good, very attack minded, but also quite solid defensively. So he would be in there. Thomas has got to start, I think. Any player come in, he said he had been training. I saw his interview today, and he has been training in Germany. I think he trained with the B team yesterday while the squad were away, but got a training session with the lads today. But I think he's got to start and see how many minutes you get out of him. And then that pushes Maeda over to the left-hand side. Yang on the wing, probably, yes, I would say, Yang has been doing well.
Yeah.
That's the one thing that's kind of disappointed me up to this point, is that the right wing has been a bit of a gap as well. I know striker was our priority. Absolutely, yes. No argument there. But I'm really surprised that we haven't got a really creative and dangerous right winger. That's, I think, hopefully, Michael, if you're watching, never mind the abuse you're getting in the streets. Just express an interest in a right winger, please, as soon as you can.
Matthew Anisi, you have man from Motherwell. Would you bring him in as a right winger?
Not as a right winger. No, I think if
bring him in as a striker, he'd be out.
Yeah, he's definitely a striker. The lad from Crystal Palace,
yes,
that we were talking about the other night, the young boy, he certainly has played right wing, and he looked quite fast, and his stats were good. So I think if we can do a deal for him, and then we also mentioned probably another centre back, just for the fact that if either Austin or Liam pick up an injury, then you'd probably need a bit of cover. But going back to Sunday's game, that would be my selection. I would have Araujo as right, and Bernardo in midfield, Kalmak, Engels. It's a possibility, but I think, again, I would probably like to start with Reo more in a kind of attacking sense.
Do you think as a punishment
to put them under pressure as early doors?
Do you think as a punishment for Reo, he might be left out? Or do you go with your strongest side? Do you think Martin is too long in the tooth to maybe punish somebody for something that they've done in a previous game, rather than just go, do you know what, mate, you are the best option I have in this position for what we want for this game, so you start? Or
I think Martin will actually play it the other way. Martin, being Martin, will turn around and say, Reo, you owe us a performance here. Therefore, that's the thing. Iheanacho, I think, has trained yesterday and today as far as Martin's press conference earlier. So I think he's definitely worth a start on the bench. But yeah, I think the new boy has to go straight in, and we'll see how he goes, see how many minutes we can get out of him, and then Ryu there. Definitely, I would say that Martin's man management skills, he'll be kind of bumping him up and saying, Reo, this is what you owe your teammates to pay them up for the red card.
Yeah. I totally agree, and I'm expecting a proper performance if he does get the nod. I'm kind of with you as well, obviously. Schmeichels, Scales, Trusty, Araujo, Tierney. That for me is your back four. I think that's basically how it's going to go. Midfield will be Aaron Engels, Callum McGregor, and another. I don't know. I think I would say give Reo the chance to redeem himself. I really think that. Case of saying Reo's bag should be packed. He's an empty jersey. Again, mate, I don't agree with that. But you're entitled to your opinion.
I can see where that's coming from. As I say, certainly this season, Reo has been very hot and cold. If Reo was going on a wee run of form, I would be less critical. But I can see why certain fans are saying that.
Yeah, listen, I totally get that. I totally understand. So we're going into it. I also am looking at strikers wise up front. I think Thomas will get the start. I think he doing the press conference and stuff is always a good wee way of kind of looking to see who's going to maybe get a wee thrown in there. And I think he might be getting his opportunity. He did score on his debut for Mönchengladbach. One of them was an absolute screamer.
Yep.
And then he scored a penalty as well. And I think the debut finished on 4 each. I think it was against Augsburg. When you see his interviews and they ask him about his attributes and he says, I'm very fast. We've already got fast, mate. What I want for you is
it's a finisher.
I can put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I'm good in the air. I want to hear things like that from him. All I've really heard is I'm fast.
Yeah.
We've got fast. We've got Yamada. We've got Dyson. We've got Taneke. These guys are fast. Do you know what I mean? I want you to be an out-and-out striker. I want you to be like...
Is it Balakishwa fast?
Well, I know, exactly. I want him to be standing in the box, ready when the ball comes in. I want him to be absolutely on it. Listen, there's no game that you can go into that's going to make you an instant hero. Come on, we're playing against top of the league. This is, like I say, this is a proverbial 6-pointer. This is starting against Rangers. For me, this is a biggie. If he goes in there tomorrow and he bangs in 2 goals or 3 goals, wow, what a start that's going to be. Do you know what I mean?
I'll take you back to a certain debutant a few years ago. It's going back, but made his debut in an Old Firm game and scored after 90 seconds. Can you remember who that was?
Old Firm game scored after 90 seconds. Oh,
yeah.
How far back are we going?
Oh, the glory years. Not Martin's first spell.
So Sutton.
Chris Sutton.
Was it?
Pretty sure we got a corner early doors and Big City put the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was his debut. If I'm wrong, the chat will line up here.
Jake and Barry's in there straight away. Jake's always really good with his stats.
It might not have been 90 seconds to be fair, but it was it was the first couple of minutes of the game. It was a kind of knockdown from a corner, and he basically just scooped it into the back of the net. And as you say, if Big Thomas, I don't care. It can be a fast run if he can. 10 minutes, really? Oh no, 10 minutes. I mean, I don't care. See if it comes ricocheting off his backside and goes in the net, and that turns out to be the winner. I don't care. If he makes an impact and he gets his goals, then yeah, absolutely, that's him. It's up to him to use his time on the park. What we don't need is somebody that's going to go through and just regardless, as you say, how fast he is. If he can't finish past a keeper on a 1-on-1, then it's just going to be another Johnny Kenny.
Exactly, mate, exactly. And I hope he has a better debut than Henrik Larsson as well, because obviously we know Henrik had a wee bit of Snyder. Well, listen, that's pretty much it from us. All I need is a prediction. Now, we've had a few coming into the chat here, and I'm going to stick these all on the spot. Let me know right now, what is your prediction for Sunday? Stevie, you're up first. Go for it.
I'm going to say 2-0. I think it'll be a tough game. Hearts will be, very organised.
Yeah.
Regardless of the players that have lost to injury, the boy Braga, who I very much rate as a player, he'll still be there. He'll still be very dangerous. But a defensive performance. We're starting to keep clean sheets now, so I would definitely be going. I would say a 2-0 to the Hoops. William, listen, see if that comes up. I would be absolutely delighted. It would be a kind of a real statement, shall we say? That's kind of, you know, that statement result that, you know, draws hearts in a wee bit, and, you know, shows that we're definitely back under Martin. May he be forever blessed.
Yeah, that's it. Listen, Dan the man is in here.
The Yang Gang hat trick. Oh.
The Yang Bang will be back. Big Dom's in there. Look at this, a Hatate.
Oh, Hatate.
Oh, where is it? There we go. Can you imagine the chaos? All of the naysayers, man. Yeah, listen, I'm going to kind of go in with that as well, guys. For this, I'm going to revert back to my old school. Obviously, we're aware that Beningame, Big Benny Beningame is out. Cammy Devlin is out. Lawrence Shankland is out.
Yep.
A few others may be out as well. So for me, I think this is a big chance for Celtic to, like you said, lay down a marker. Now, the marker that we laid down last year that collapsed Aberdeen, myself and Steve were at it, was when we melted them 6-0 in the Scottish Cup. And no, it wasn't the Scottish Cup. Was it 2 years ago? It was 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yep.
So we melted them 6-0 in the Scottish Cup, knocked them out. Fantastic. And the last collapse for there, they basically just crumbled. Yep. And I think if we can put out a statement performance tomorrow against Hearts, then we will make them crumble as well. So I'm going to go for my proverbial 4-0.
Oh,
go for it.
Listen, as I say, if it's as emphatic as that, then I will take that every single day of the week. You know, it is one. If we come away with 3 points, as I say, see if it ends up being 1-0 because it's a deflection off of Thomas's back end. I don't care. 3 points away from home, back down the road, and that's it. You know, it draws them in that bit closer, puts that bit more pressure on them, and you know, then we've still got 15 games to play.
Yes.
So absolutely, you know, it's still a long way to go, but you know, definitely a win is what's required here.
Yeah, 100%. Listen, lads, thank you so much for all of the kind comments, all the support, Dan, for all of the memberships. This could be the next title for our next show, Hatate Breaks Hearts. Can you imagine? I would be on here with such a smile on my face. And listen, I just want to add this as well. I know it doesn't mean any much to you guys, but Sunday is actually my birthday as well. So what a birthday gift that would be. Celtic.
Hatate for Paddy.
Hatate for the hat-trick, just for my birthday. Yeah, listen, it'd be absolutely fantastic. Celebrate my birthday with a Celtic win against the rivals. But again, listen, thank you so much for everybody for coming on. If you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Doesn't cost you a penny, and we really appreciate all the support. And as always, guys,
tell your friends about the witty banter.
Exactly, tell them about the crack, the two baldies.
Well, do you know what we should do? We should try and get a photo of Steve-O and shave his hair off. You know, get like somebody that's good with Photoshop to do a thing with a Steve-O, so that we're all the baldy gang.
Thanks very much. Listen, there's loads of guys in here putting happy birthday and stuff as well. I really appreciate this. Plunge, I'm not far off of 50, mate. Maybe if I shave this beard, I've actually looked my age. I don't know.
I remember being 50.
Aye. I appreciate all the support, guys. I'll be back on Sundays. You can all wish me a happy birthday then. But I really, really appreciate all the support, guys. And as always, hail, hail.
Hail, hail.